Welcome, welcome, welcome to On Fire to Inspire. I am your host, Aleigha The Purpose Midwife. I want to thank you so much for joining us this beautiful, beautiful Tuesday evening. You could have been doing anything else and been anywhere else, but you chose to spend it with us, and for that, we are totally grateful. As I thank our sponsors, I want y'all to do me a favor. I want you to hit that share button because you don't want to miss any of the information that's about to be shared. Okay, so go ahead and hit the share button. I'm going to thank our sponsors and we're going to hop right on in. So hit that share button, letting your friends and family know that we are live and we're about ready to go. Give you a few moments to do that over in Facebook land. Thank you. On YouTube, LinkedIn. Thank you. Tag, share. Do what you need to do because there's some more people that needs this information. Okay. Um, Thank you to mombizboss.org, multiple operational manager. If you are a mom, an entrepreneur, or an aspiring entrepreneur, you definitely want to be a part of this group. I tell you, we have such an awesome time on our monthly calls. We do virtuals, we do in persons, which they do them in different states. I haven't had an opportunity to connect lately with the in persons, but I had the opportunity to MC one of the virtuals recently, and that's how I met our guest today. She was amazing, and so she has an awesome testimony. We're going to be hearing from her. But if you are an entrepreneur or an aspiring entrepreneur, you want to connect. That's mombizboss.org. Okay. Again, hit that share button, tag some friends. I want to also thank the Bridge Services LLC, Nursing Concierge. It says their tagline is keeping you connected to your care. They offer private services, medication planning and education, and additional services, as well as home care visits after hospitalization. So contact them at 828 228 3935. Again, that's 828 228 3935 or the bridge services number one at gmail.com. Y'all check them out. And then finally, make your money make money for you. Okay. If your money isn't in a high yield savings account, you're not making no money. So make sure you go. And I taught about that last week. And so you're going to go to bit.ly/up leveled money because it's time to up level everything that God is doing in this hour. All right. So again, that's bit.ly/capital U for your up, everything else lowercase. So bit.ly/up leveled money. I'm going to post all of this in the chat. You'll be able to see it. But without further ado, we're going to go ahead and get started with our guest. Again, hit that share button, tag, because y'all, we're about to get started. Welcome, welcome, welcome to On Fire to Inspire. How you doing this evening? You're on mute.
Hey!
Hey!
I'm so excited to be here. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you so very much for joining us, taking time out of your busy schedule to join us. I was so elated to be able to speak with your assistants and everything and get all the information and get everything secured and get on your calendar. So we were excited about that. And so I always like to get my guests to introduce themselves because, sometimes when you're reading a bio, you lose people. But there's something about telling people who you are, and it just exudes exactly who you are. So introduce yourself to the On Fire to Inspire family.
Hi, everyone. My name is Jane Harris. I am a glueless wig maker. I make glueless wigs for women who want to look and feel their best. And I'm also a coach and a homeschool mom of 3 amazing children.
Woo, honey, homeschool mom, you are doing it. You are doing it. Now, my next question I love to ask is, what does the topic "you don't need more time, you need more leverage" mean to you? What does that mean to Jane Harris?
Oh, everything. It changed my life. It changed my life. It changed the direction of my life, my business. And the truth is, it has changed how I mother. To me, being an entrepreneur is great, but one of the most amazing things that I've ever done is have my children. And I never thought that statement you just made will make me a better mom. So it has changed everything for me. It means a lot to me.
Wow. You know, as we think about leveraging, we think about balance. And when you think about all of the things that you're doing, you have to have some balance. So you have to leverage has to be key. And so I love that. Now, was there a specific moment in your journey where you realized this is actually good? This is true. This is really, really true for me. Was there an actual moment in your journey that hit for you?
And I what I remember is when I realized that I had a problem,
Okay.
right?
Hmm.
Because for a while I was chasing that entrepreneurial journey of success. I was working a 9 to 5, I was doing really good. And then I had my baby and I'm like, I'm gonna go be an entrepreneur. That was my first time. But I started my business with so little and we made our first $1 million. It was when I had made $1 million and I was very frustrated and sad. That's when
Hmm.
I realized that something did not add up. So
Wow.
it was that moment that it got me really thinking. I still had to do some self-reflection. So
Okay.
that was the moment for me.
Wow. Because you would think, I made $1 million. I should be elated, but I'm really sad.
Mm-mm.
There's something wrong with that picture.
Yeah, very wrong. Very wrong.
Yes.
Yeah.
So your bio, your story, you said I started my business with $500. Woo! What did leverage look like for you in those early days?
Oh my God. I didn't even know how to pronounce leverage. I didn't know what that meant. I guess I would say I leveraged my husband's, at the time he was my boyfriend, I leveraged his paycheck because I didn't even have the $500. I had to borrow the $500 from him. But you know what? I had faith. I leveraged faith. I believed what God said I was, even if I didn't believe what I am. Like I didn't believe who I was, but I was like, if you say that I can do this, then I guess I can.
Right.
Because there's no way in the beginning it looked like I was supposed to be doing what I was supposed to. I didn't have the money. I didn't go to hair school and I could barely even speak English. So I leveraged my faith because I didn't have nothing else. So
Wow. Wow, wow, wow. So you barely was speaking English and you speak this fluently without a strong accent?
I had a strong accent. When I say my English I was very shy. I was very insecure. So my words, I wasn't confident. I wouldn't enunciate my words. People could barely understand what I was saying. And I just wasn't confident. And you could tell from just speaking to me that I wasn't confident.
Gotcha. That makes sense. Makes sense. And confidence is everything because how you carry yourself, you actually people feel it and they see it. So
It's
it makes
currency.
sense.
It's
It is definitely currency.
it's currency.
Yes.
Yes.
Now, what was the first shift for you or the decision that helped you really move beyond just surviving into thriving in your business?
I think it was when I had my daughter. I realized that the kind of mom that I wanted to be would require me to be a different version of myself.
Okay.
The version that I had built up to be that entrepreneur was a different version that needed to be a good mom to her because my parents were entrepreneurs and I saw what that whole rat race did to them. So when I had her, I was like, okay, for me to be the mother that I want to be, I had to be a very conscious parent. And being a conscious parent meant I needed to be calm. I needed to put her first. I needed to have the patience to nurture this human being. And the schedule that I had was the opposite of that.
Yeah.
So for me, I had to choose the direction, how I wanted to show up as an entrepreneur, the type of business I wanted to run.
Wow. Now, a lot of people feel like, you know what? I got to do everything myself because if I don't get it done, no, it's not going to get done. When did you realize this is not sustainable for me?
It was when I had my daughter and then I had made that $1 million and I wasn't happy because I'm like, the reason I wasn't happy was like, I knew what I had done to get the $1 million. I'm like, I can't do that again. I barely survived it.
Right,
I'm
right.
like, is that what people do to make $1 million? Well, you gonna make $1 million and die? Like, this is too much. I don't want
Yeah,
this.
yeah.
So I decided to book a coach, which was probably one of the best things I ever did. She had made $100 million. So I'm
Okay.
like, I'm talking about a million. How did she do 100 million? right? And she
Mhm.
was an African American lady. She started with $500 as well and grew it to 100 million. So I'm like, I need to find out. So she was offering a coaching program, and I was like, sign me up. I don't care how much I want to, you know. So I was able to get in her program, and the first thing she said was, the way you're running your business right now, you're not gonna grow, and you're gonna run yourself to the ground. And then she opened my eyes up to how to hire other people to do the work that you don't need to do yourself. So that was the
Mhm.
first indicator. I thought, oh my God, there's such a thing. I used to go online and beat my chest. Like, I check all the emails, I ship the packages, I call the customers. Like, it was supposed to be a badge of honor. And then I do my laundry. And then girl, nobody's going to give you an award for having high blood pressure.
At all.
Like, who cares? So she was the first one that gave me permission to delegate, to entertain hiring other people to help me. So that was the moment for me when I hired a coach that had done 100 times more than what I did. And I was like, wait a minute, if you could do it, I need to listen to what you did. So that's what it was for me.
Gotcha. And you said you gave yourself permission
Yes.
to, I love that because sometimes we have to get out of our own way. And you said, you know what? If I do all this again the way I'm doing it, I'm going to be dead.
Ain't no way.
Right. Oh my goodness. Wow. Mm. And I also love the way you said that badge of honor. Nobody's going to give you that badge of honor for.
No one. And you know, as women, we have to get away from the things that we feel makes us women. Especially as an entrepreneur, you are the CEO not only of your business, but you can be the CEO of your house. So if you not unless you like the smell of detergent, if you love the smell of detergent and it calms you down, do your laundry. If you love to clean your own house, spend 4 hours on a Saturday, do that. That's not me. I would rather use that time doing something else, and I'm not ashamed of it. As women entrepreneurs, because there's two types of women entrepreneurs and women, right? As a woman entrepreneur, you have that CEO hat. Now, even if you have a husband, the husband don't care as long as it gets done, right? He comes to a clean house. Is he asking, so honey, did you clean this house yourself? I mean, you got on your knees and you scrubbed the floor yourself. He don't care. Like, I mean, get it done, but don't feel bad. I remember my mother-in-law, she's a renaissance woman. She cleans everything, cooks everything, irons everything, does everything. She came over one day, and this is when I first started hiring someone to clean my house, and I was like, oh, I can't tell her. She gonna look at me like, and then I remember she was like, so Jane, your house is spotless, who did it? And I remember a voice in my head saying, this is your moment, you got to be honest. And I was like, Mom, I hired someone to help me clean the house. And she was like, good for you. I'm proud of.
You had a breakthrough and didn't even know.
I didn't even know. The whole time I was like, oh, I said, she going to either love me from now on or not like me anymore. Because her and I have a really cool relationship. But
Yeah.
for me, that was a moment where I didn't care about anyone's judgment of how I was running my business, the business of the home, which is your first business. I
Right.
need to make sure this ship was right. Even if I'm an entrepreneur, I need to make sure my home is the way it needs to be. But
Right.
that doesn't mean I have to do it.
Right. Now
So,
there's a question that's coming in, and I'm going to ask that one before my next question. Okay. Um, she says that sounds smart to get to delegate, but what if there are no funds to um to pay team members just yet? So you want to hire a team, but there are no funds to do this. What do you do in that case? Is her question.
so it depends. Team members for your business.
Can you elaborate on your question,
Yeah.
Lisa?
Is it a team member for your business or team member for your home?
You're talking about for the business or home? I think she's talking about business because she was talking about we were talking about business when the question came in.
Okay. So if it's a team member for your business, I remember when I started my business, like I said, I started with nothing. I bootstrapped $500. That's all I had. Now I had $500. Now I could see, this is what I did. This is why knowledge, the use of knowledge is important, and education is important, and awareness is important. At the time, I did not realize that I could have somebody help me create flyers, and I'll pay them $3 an hour.
You heard
So
that, Lisa?
$3 an hour. So if you have $3 an hour, let's just say you hire this person for 10 hours a week, $3 an hour, you can make, if you don't have the money yet, you can save up $3 an hour, 10 hours a week to help you get that business off the ground, something that you're not going to have time to do. So when we look at help, we're looking at $20 an hour, $15 an hour. No, I'm looking at beginning level where you can pay somebody $3 an hour to help you get your dream business off the ground, something that you're building for your generation.
Yes, 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 yes. Did that answer your question? She did say business. She did. She actually came in and said business. Good, 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 honey. Yes, $3. You know what? You cannot eat out and be able to do that, okay? Because it's $30 easily to eat out these days.
$3,
Easily.
we could come up with $3 an hour.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly, exactly. So, what did you have to let go of in order to grow?
Oh my gosh. Insecurity.
Okay.
A lot of insecurity. I felt like, as a founder, you grew this business from scratch. You know every ins and out of the business. And I was insecure about training someone else to come in and do what I did. Number one, they were going to steal my idea. Number two, that, I was not going to be important anymore. I had to let go of that because it was stopping me from growing. I put myself in a bigger mindset. I'm like, if I'm gonna make the kind of money Jeff Bezos makes, I have to think like Jeff Bezos. And every single one of us, whoever's hearing this right now, we all have the opportunity and the ability to build a business that big. We can
Yes.
all do it. So why not think like them so we can set our businesses up to do that? So I remember when I was like, I'm going to train, because I'm a wig maker. I'm going to train somebody to help me make the wig. And my sister, who I love, she was like, Jane, if you train them on that technique, they're going to take that idea and they're going to start making wigs themselves. I said, let them have it because I'll learn another skill.
All right now. All right. Confident in who you are and what you're called to do. Yes.
Absolutely.
Lisa has another question. She said, "Where are you finding $3 an hour help?"
That's the magic part. That's the
That's the
source.
magic part, Lisa.
That's the source. And let me tell you how it started. I was desperate. Okay, when you gotta make it work, you try to make it work. I
Mhm.
read a book. It's called The 4 Hour Work Week. Okay,
Mhm.
I think his name is Tim Ferriss.
Mhm.
4 Hour Work Week is, and I'm reading this book. I'm thinking it's just a regular business book, and it's an encyclopedia for an entrepreneur who wants to leverage other people to grow their business. This guy only works 4 hours a week, and he runs a multi-million-dollar business. How does he do it? So I started getting into this book, reading it, and then I learned about virtual assistants in the book. And then I'm like, oh, so you can hire somebody from Nigeria to work for you, because I'm Nigerian. I never thought to hire somebody from my country because the currency difference is there.
Right.
$3 an hour here is like $20 an hour there. So
Okay.
you can leverage high level um, graduates, people with experience to work on your business. You just have to go overseas. Guess who does that? AT&T, Mercedes-Benz, Apple, everybody else. That's why when you call them, you get somebody from another country. All the big companies are leveraging this. They've been doing it for years. But I never thought it was accessible to us small businesses. But I started doing research and they're all online. You can find somebody for $2 an hour who's coming out of college and wants a chance to build their resume. You can hire somebody for $3, $4, but it's amazing. And not just, I'm talking about a bunch of people for that price. So, yes.
Well, Lisa, I know you're excited over there, girl. I know you're excited. Now, let's talk about some strategies and leveraging. So, what are 2 to 3 practical ways that entrepreneurs can create leverage without adding more hours to their day? So they
Okay.
can.
Okay, that's a really good question. I think you can't delegate without having a plan.
Mhm.
So I think I'm big on documentation. If you're a new entrepreneur, you're like, okay, Jane, I hear you about this leverage. So where do I start? Write down for 7 days everything you do from when you clock in on your business to when you leave. You want to document every single step. And what you're doing is, because every, as entrepreneurs, what you do on Monday, you may not do Friday. So you want to document all 7 days. And then what you want to do is go back and see which part of those tasks can I hand to someone else? What part can I take off my? I was shocked at the things that I thought I had to do that I didn't even have to touch. Right. So you want to go in and one by one, you want to make this gradual. You are pushing it on somebody else's table. And then you leave the stuff on the table that only you can handle. Like I have delegated everything else off my table besides going live or doing these kind of interviews with amazing people like you. If I had a to-do list that was too busy, I wouldn't have the time to do this interview.
That's true.
So
That's
you have to be able to take the $5 an hour, $20 an hour jobs off your table, because you're worth over $200, $300, $400, $500 an hour. So you have to decide which one is your pay grade, right? Nobody else can talk about your business on a podcast or an interview like you can. Why are you checking emails then? Anybody can check emails. AI can check your email at this point, right?
true.
So I mean, I haven't checked my emails in 5 years. I have not, and I'm proud of it. My team that are trained, they check my email, so I can do the important stuff, so I can grow, so I can raise my kids. I'm a black belt martial artist. I train 4 days a week. I've been training for 7 years, and I dance twice a month. I do all these things because I want to have a wholesome life. I don't want to just be like, I'm an entrepreneur. I work all day, every day. That's not what I got into this business for. I want to enjoy myself. I'm not trying to wait till I'm, retired. So for you to have that life that's full, I talk about a full life. It's not about what's in your bank account. It's about how you feel when you go to bed at night. Are you exercising? Are you eating right? Are you taking walks? Are you smelling the trees? Are you making time to have lunch with your girlfriends? Are you in rooms like this having a conversation with this amazing purpose-driven midwife that we have here? Like, are you doing these things, or are you putting them to the back burner because I don't have time? I don't have time. I'm too busy. You will never hear me say I'm too busy. Never. Right? So it's important to have a wholesome life. For you to have a wholesome life, you have to be able to have a system. Like I said, you document everything you do every day. Take all that unnecessary stuff off your list.
I love it. I love it. She said, I definitely need somebody to read my email. All right. Now, what role did systems, branding, and delegation play in scaling your business?
Okay, I think in those branding, delegating, and systems, it's so funny you said it that way, because number one, it was branding for me.
Okay.
Branding is what got me my first $1 million.
Okay.
I was clueless. I went out there and my branding was authenticity. So that got me my first million. Now, systems is what allowed me to delegate. Right? If I didn't have an email system that recorded every email that I've ever sent out to a client, I couldn't have somebody hired in there to say, well, Jane, this customer said they didn't like their hair, and the last time you told them, what's your phone number so we can call you and fix it. So next time a customer comes and say, I don't like my hair, I know exactly what to say to that client. That's a system. That's an email system that you can have somebody follow. A system is what people can repeat. It's what McDonald's has, right? So an email system has a record of every email with every possible problem because when it comes to emails, the reason why people don't, entrepreneurs, we're problem solvers in our emails. When something goes wrong is when there's usually a problem. It's not when somebody leaves a good review. Nobody cares about that. It's when the customer is upset, or maybe they're disappointed, or maybe they're not satisfied with your service, or maybe they have a concern, right? So every single issue that I've ever resolved was in the emails already. So what I did was I recorded every time I handled a problem with a client, I put it in a file. Every time I handled a problem I put it in a file. So when my email girl came in, my manager, I call her my happiness coach. When she came in, all she has to type up is late shipment, package lost. And the last time I handled something like that will just pop up. So she'll read it and go, last time this happened, this is what Jane did. Okay, so I'm going to do that. So that's a system. So a system allowed me to delegate seamlessly.
I love that. I absolutely love that. Okay. They taking notes. Y'all better be taking some good notes tonight because I'm a scribe myself. I'm taking notes. Now, what's one thing people think leverage is and it really isn't? You know how people have there's a myth about what leverage really is, but it isn't. What's that thing?
I think it's I think people are fascinated with the idea of leverage.
Okay.
Leverage is what gets you ahead. Leverage is literally you capitalizing on something, right? Like for my first experience with leverage was I didn't have the money to start my business, but I leveraged my boyfriend and had him give me money because you love me, right? Well, I need to start this business. I need $500. So I leveraged him to do to do that. So leverage is an opportunity to do more. Leverage is taking advantage of a situation, leveraging your experiences, leveraging your influence, leveraging your brand to do more. It's always to do more. I leverage the help of virtual assistants so I can do more, so I can be omnipresent in my business. So that's what I think. I think people are fascinated with the idea, but I don't think they quite execute what leverage should be.
Yes. Now, here's another question for you. What mindset shift do women need to make to stop chasing time and start chasing, excuse me, start creating leverage? Stop chasing time and start creating leverage. What mindset shift do they have to get to shift into that next gear, so to speak?
I think for me, and I will say that this is what helped me, you
Hmm.
don't have a lot of time. And God that gave you this gift expects you. He expects you to figure it out because he has created you to figure it out. He has given you the tools that you needed to figure it out. So you can't say, "Oh, I don't know what to do." No, figure it out. You got to figure it out. And I think it may come off as, "What do you mean? What if I can't figure it out?" You got to figure it out. I kept waking up to dreams of me owning a business, but I'm like, "God, I don't have the money to do that. How am I going to stop this?" So, but I had the ability to figure it out. And that's what God wants us to do. Figure it out. So you have to be in the mindset to expect great things to happen in spite of your environment, in spite of your bank account, in spite of in spite of your circumstances. You have to see beyond what's around you and expect great things to happen. I didn't go to hair school. I didn't have the money. But I was like, God, if you're saying that I can do this, well, I believe you. I can do it. Because from that expectation, you will start to see things that you never thought were there before. You will see the opportunity come to you. I think having a mindset shift of expectation rather than be succumbed to your bank. You could have a minus in your bank account and still thrive and do what you need to do because you are expecting great things to happen in spite of your current circumstance. So I think it's a shift of expectation, expecting great things to happen.
I love that mindset shift of expectation. You made me think about something the Lord gave me some years ago, and he said, if you expect me, get ready to experience me. And so, and so I said, okay, Lord, I said, I gotta expect you, despite this, what I see, because if I expect you, I'm gonna get. And then that made me think about when I make choices out of my own, then I got my results. But I said, God, I succumb to what you do. I said, I relinquish my free will and I give my will to line up with your will so I can get God results instead of my results. And so, and so you just making me think about all this stuff that the Lord released to me over the years. And I'm gonna have to write this stuff down because when He give it to you, you tend to forget. But I'm gonna have to write this down for my women's conference on October the 24th because these women need to hear this. They need to hear this. My goodness, this is a blessing. Now we have a woman that's listening right now, and she is overwhelmed. She's stretched thin, and she's like, I'm under sourced, I'm under resourced, I'm just tired. What can we tell this woman that she needs to do to change her trajectory even this week? But one simple shift that can change her trajectory this week alone. Because today is only Tuesday.
I think you can't do it alone. We can woosah and we can kumbaya all day long. It ain't gonna be enough. Okay, it will work for 2 seconds. You literally need to have a mindset exercise. I will recommend reading the Bible, and specifically David, right? Because what we're dealing with is Goliath, okay? And we're David, okay? And we put ourselves in that position. Now, I don't know the verses because I'm not gonna hold you, but I believe in the idea of what David did in spite of his circumstances, holding on to that story. And then I would recommend this book that literally, because every time a woman comes out, like, we're overwhelmed because we're hearing gas prices are up, the oil is up, jobs lost, all of this stuff. So we hear that, and it puts weight on us, and we now believe those things. So we now have an idea of how we should move. We don't even want to go for the interview or even ask for a raise because we don't think it's there. We're just happy to have what we have because we hear everybody losing their job, bankruptcies, all of that going on. But I want you to detach yourself from those negative things going on, because that is not your portion. That is not what God has for us. What he has for us is very different than what's going on in the world. We need to detach ourselves mentally, spiritually, emotionally. So I want you to read the book. It's called The Power of Your Subconscious Mind by Joseph Murphy. That book does a cleanse on your head. Besides reading the Bible, this book, I started reading this book with no hopes of anything. And when I was done with the book, I had made $100,000. And that is fact, because this book will have you thinking you're superwoman. This book will have you think you walk around with an S on your chest, because what it does, it awakens you. It awakens you. I read it and I read the Bible because Joseph Murphy, he also has biblical references as well, which I love. And he talks about how your mind is your biggest asset. A lot of us are not making the money we want to make because we've told ourselves that we don't deserve it. We don't even expect it. We don't even ask for what we deserve because we're like, oh, I'm good where I'm at. We're scared of success. We're scared of success, and we don't even know that. So this book would literally cleanse your mind and rebuild you from the inside, so you can step up in spite of everything going on. You can expect great things, and you can have this. Literally, the book would lay out ways where you can get what you need from life. And that's the book I would recommend to anybody. I have 3 children, and one of our homeschool exercises, when they hit 8 years old, all my children, they have read that book. Oh no, if I had read that book at a young age, I would have been a millionaire probably at 15. It's that powerful. Power of Your Subconscious Mind by Joseph Murphy. Because you be like, wait, ain't no way I'm supposed to be rich. What are we talking about? Chapter 10, it starts off with, you are supposed to be rich. Because that's what God doesn't want us to suffer.
Right.
So it's a great book. I could talk about that book all day long. It's a great book. So if you're overwhelmed and you're feeling some kind of way and you feel stuck, that book will get you unstuck in 24 hours. 24 hours.
Wow.
The first 3 chapters, and you'll be like, oh, what have I been doing with my life? I'm so serious.
Wow. Thank you for typing that in, Lisa. Thank you. Lisa typed that in. She said, I'm looking it up now. And she said,
Get it on audio. Don't listen to music no more. Put it on audio as you're on your way driving. Just like binge it. Just keep listening. Man.
I love audiobooks. And for those of you if you have a library card, go to Hoopla and you can listen to books for free online. Okay, so we're gonna take away everything that the enemy say. Well, I don't have the money for. I just took that too. Okay, go to Hoopla, look it up. The Power of the Subconscious Mind by Joseph Murphy.
Yes, Joseph Murphy.
Come on, Holy Spirit. He remembered that because I did. And you can listen to it for free, y'all. And if you are, I think, a Prime member, y'all can listen to so many things for free too. But there are so many ways around doing things. We try to make things hard. But I ask people all the time now, Jane. I ask people, are you looking at the cup half empty, or are you looking at it half full? And then my next question is, how big is your cup? Because now I'm coming for the big things. Look at here, Jane. We not playing no more. You hear me? We not playing with it.
We
And I
can't.
ain't even playing that. I just had it right here because I've been drinking no more.
I love
This
it.
is
I love
coming with. So wow. So Jane, we're not gonna hold you up too much longer, but are there any final words that's in your heart to share with us tonight?
we are deserving of it all. We're
Yes.
deserving of a good marriage, a happy life, a healthy life, good family members, a prosperous business, and joy in our hearts. We can literally have it all because that's what's promised to us. We just have to expect it. Because when you expect it, you figure it out and you make it happen. We are so deserving of it. So, yeah, I just want to thank you for having me tonight.
You are so welcome. Now, how can they follow you? And I know you name your girls. What's the name? What's your girl's name that you have tonight?
She's called the Rashmi.
The Rashmi?
Yes,
Okay.
she's
Yeah,
from
so that
India.
is one of her own that she is, she said she's a wig maker and all of hers have names. And I remember that. And so that's the Rashmi, y'all, for those who say, hey, I love that. I want it. So that's the Rashmi. How do they kind of follow you? How, all of this good stuff.
Well, I am the Virgin Hair Fantasy on all social media, Instagram, YouTube, Virgin Hair Fantasy.
Okay. Good. Fantasy. All right. All social media. What about your website?
www.thevirginhairfantasy.com.
All right, y'all hear her, y'all hear her. But Jane, we definitely appreciate you tonight. We thank
Thank
God for
you.
you. You've helped many, many, many people say you took that away from them of saying, "Well, I don't have the money. I didn't either. I leveraged. I borrowed it from my boyfriend at the time."
Sure did. Sure did. Yeah.
Thank you again. We appreciate you. Is there anything else you want to share? I don't want to cut you.
I just want to say thank you. I appreciate you. What you're doing here is anointed. It's amazing. God is using you, and I thank you for your work. And may God continue to bless you. Thank you so
Thank you,
much.
thank you, thank you. All right, we will hope to see you soon. Okay.
Yes, please. I'd love to come back.
Yes, 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 yes. Y'all heard it here tonight. If you missed any of this, you got to go back and hear the replay. We are live on Facebook on Fire to Inspire Network. We're live on YouTube and LinkedIn as Aleigha The Purpose Midwife. Y'all sow this into someone's life because so many people are living beneath what God has for them. You heard Jane. She said, you can have it all. And so y'all, I'm going to find that book tonight myself. Okay, Jane? I'm going to find it. But there were so many things that she said it was time for us to do, y'all. We don't need more time. We just need to leverage. You are the CEO of your life. You're the CEO of your business. She gave us all of these golden tools. Now, what are you going to do with it? Are you going to sit on it? Or are you going to do what God has called you to do? And so it's time for you to allow that which she's giving you to just rise up in you and go forth and take it and run with it. And I want to hear the testimonies. Why? Because there's something on the inside of you that has to come out. There's somebody waiting on you to get in position. There's somebody waiting on you. If I had listened to my own self 11 years ago, I wouldn't have done this. I didn't see me doing it. But when God put it in my heart, I released the book. And then 7 months later, the show came. But I released the book 3 days after my ex-husband left. And the enemy was just saying, da, 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 da. And the Lord said, nothing's stopping. You have to go forth. So don't allow what you see to silence you or stop you. Why? Because when God is in it, it can't be stopped. All right. So y'all move forth, go forward. We will see y'all same time, same place next week. I am Aleigha the Purpose Midwife. Sow this into somebody's life because they're waiting on you. I love you guys. We'll see you next week. Okay. Blessings to you.